thorough pace, premium racing analytics, allowing bettors to identify races with extreme pace scenarios in a matter of seconds. Capital OTB's mobile wagering platform. Bet any place, anytime with Capital OTB's mobile wagering platform. And CapitalOTBBet.com, the premier wagering site in New York State.
Go.
Good morning,
I didn't
ladies
count you
and-
down. That was on me.
That's okay. We can handle this. Live television isn't new to me. Most people out there are going, no, it seems like you act as if it's new to you, but no, it isn't. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Handicappers Report alongside
Well,
Seth
in a
and Merrow.
normal setting, you would also have an earpiece, so you would hear the
There's
countdown.
a lot
as
of
well.
things in a normal setting would be different. So we'll just go with what
there are
we
a few
have.
shortcuts.
This
that we
is-
take.
We try and implement with a little bit of talent to get to the finish line. But good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Handicappers Report alongside Seth Merrow. I'm Anthony Mormino. If Sunday we last met was 11, this might be a 12 on a scale of 10. This is glorious. We mentioned, Sunday I know is a big opportunity for people to come up to the racetrack. If Wednesday is a good opportunity for you to come up to the racetrack, this is a Wednesday that you should attend the races. It's perfect out here. No humidity, no breeze. I mean, it is a crisp morning, which I like, and it will warm up. I think in the 70s or something. It's gonna be a perfect day.
Yeah,
Perfect day for racing. And I think, what's it, over $150,000 carryover in the pick six?
it was something like that. Yeah. Oh, I probably have it. It's
I
probably.
mean, I'm close. I mean, if I had to guess, I'm guessing 169,000.
Probably. It doesn't. I don't see the
A lot of
carryover.
information on there, Seth.
Yeah, I don't
but
see
it's
the
not-
carryover.
I
Actually,
think it's $169, which
it was big. Yeah. Oh well, 193.
193. I'm not even close. And I must confess, Alley's Beach and these Omaha beaches first timers are keeping me treading water. And congratulations to one of our favorites, Tom Amos, got the first timer home, and she didn't get the cue, but Katie Davis got the cue in the afternoon with Left Me Behind. And that gets yours truly 59 straight weeks, Mr. Seth. I was thinking it was going to come to an end after a disastrous 2 days, but Tom Amos and Katie Davis saved my bacon. And on a personal note, it's been 3 days of my type of horses, Seth, and the mutuals. I have not taken advantage of it. And that is not a good thing. You know, the old idea of strike when the iron's hot, that's what public handicappers have to do. I think it was just a couple days ago you mentioned to me the favorites were at about 42, 43%. I think you told me it ticked up that day after 7 of 10 winning favorites.
38 after Sunday.
And they've gotten slaughtered the last 2 days. And I took the bagel on Saturday. And luckily, and on the good news channel maker, not good news for me, because they let him lope on the front end, and I had a live one, just couldn't run him down. But what a great story for the offspring of English Channel winning the Bowling Green on Sunday. So, and I was thinking about the pick six, Seth. When we were both very young, it was a $2 bet. Now it's a $1 bet. It's the original style of pick six, not a jackpot, which we like. And I was talking to somebody once in the industry years ago. Why didn't they make it $1? Because in those days, we already had dollar daily doubles, dollar everything. And they were like, the pick six players didn't want that. They didn't want more bases covered. And I was thinking, well, a $1 wager adjusted for inflation, what would that have been in 1991? Like 40 cents?
Probably.
So basically, it's an 80% off sale to play the pick six now. I mean, I was also like, imagine, I think the double, if you had to bet a $2 double, you'd have to bet like $6.50 now to bet it. I mean, racing has become, they haven't moved off it's so affordable. What a dime super would have been like 2 cents in 1978. Imagine the lines we would have had then. But I was thinking racing now, wagering has never been close to this affordable.
Out in California, don't they have $5 doubles?
No, that's
California?
that's gone.
Oh,
but
okay.
that was $5 exactas.
Oh,
and you want to hear the
$5 double? And isn't that what do they call it? There was a double going between Southern California, Northern California. The afternoon double? Or the sunset. It had a name, and I think that was a $5.
You're gonna like this one.
That was recently.
These have a $5 exacta box. Was the minute. You know what their rationale was? Oh, you're gonna love this. Imagine saying this today. To protect the bettors. That was like, no, we want to make it really high so you can only bet like one. But that was so. Imagine $5. It'd be like a $15 exacta now. But no, I have programs in California. It would be up in the upper right-hand center, a rectangle, $5 exacta box. Some archaic ideas to the sport. But I was just thinking, wagering, which is, really is not only the lifeblood, it's the skin, the bones, everything, is as affordable now as it's ever been because we haven't moved with inflation. We've actually gone the other way.
Yeah.
We didn't have, do you remember when dollar wagering started? If I took a guess, I'd say like 78 maybe. I could be off, give or take 2 years. But that, I guess, would be technically fractional wagering, right? Because everything used to be a $2 increment. But now, and I say to Seth sometimes, when I do my pick fives and the pick fours and the pick threes, I always do what Telecast doesn't do. I always make it to the $2 increment because they still put the mutuals up at $2. So I want to develop a relationship that's apples to apples. But interesting that racing, to me right now, the most affordable it's ever been to wager.
Yeah, and you get up at Woodbine, they have everything's 20 cents up there. I mean, the picks.
Well, we talked about that once, and that was an example where you were like what my friend said 20 years ago. You told me you don't fancy the 20-cent.
No, I'm not one of those. I'm okay with it because I think if you can get a price in, it's still going to pay okay.
Okay, so they have 20-cent pick threes.
20-cent everything.
All of them.
All the picks.
Well, that's probably a good from a marketing standpoint. Like that's not a bad idea, and that's more action. But so that would have been like 7 cents when we were kids. Imagine that coming up with your nickel and your two pennies, slowing it down. But I just thought that was wild. I was like, some things like the $2 wager is the bedrock of the sport. Well, maybe not anymore, but it didn't go with inflation. So, anything from you? What do you got there?
Well, I got the excuse me for leaning out. I forgot to put it in front of me, so I had to go into my backpack. But I will alert people to promos coming up.
It's August
this week.
August place to be.
Turn the page, but things still keep cooking at the Clubhouse Racebook this week. $100 knockout challenge today. If you swing down to the Racebook, prize wheel tomorrow, Thursday. Tomorrow up here at the track. Of course, it's low rollers, and I'm going to have Ray and Jay on. Ray Howell and Jay Connolly, who administer the low rollers. We're going to talk a little low rollers with them tomorrow. $100 trifecta challenge at the Clubhouse on Friday. Also, the bounty bet on Friday. Friday is also, I don't even know why I'm saying this. The online entries open for the show pool once again on Sunday. I whiffed in the first leg.
Save yourself the pain.
Oh, my.
What do you do? You do 8 of them for the meet?
Yeah.
The goal has to be 1.
But I want to get past the first leg. But the problem is you don't get that. And I thought I had a really nice sequence.
Of course you did. That's why you bet it.
I really felt pretty confident. And the first leg was just horrible. But you can't Padma, something like that in the very first race. And just started to fade on the turn and went completely to the back of the pack. But you don't get to pick kind of your sequence. I mean, I get to pick the sequence, but if the horse you have in the first leg is a little bit long, that's just the way the races play out. So you maybe, you have more confidence later on.
So the psychology angle of.
But no, there was no psych. It was
depressing. Now for the stake in the heart. How did the other 4 do?
I didn't. I was not.
I didn't want to do it to yourself. I understand that. I understand.
Because that would have been.
I understand.
But so that opens on Friday. Saturday, there's Fan Appreciation Day at the Woodlawn Branch. That's always a lot of fun. Contests, free food, past performances. So if you're a patron at the Woodlawn Branch on Saturday, stop by. Saturday at the Racebook, it's the Play the Board contest. Sunday at the Racebook, a double promo day, match bet, and exacta board. All of that coming up, and just news of what's going on around town tomorrow. We were talking before we went on the air. Tomorrow, Jockey Club roundtable tomorrow, where some of the big issues of the game will be talked about now annually. So we will have some folks that will be in town as the week goes along. Some folks who are in town for the roundtable. Lisa Lazarus, hope to have her from HISA on Saturday. Tom Rooney, the head of the NTRA, I believe on Sunday. And so it looks like it'll be a fun week. Tomorrow, going to have Jack Knowlton on with some memories of Funny Side. Oh, and today, I should tell you today, our regular visit from the Saratoga Special Rotation. I believe it's Tom Law today. Matt Miller, who won the 2021 BCBC. I believe the check that was on the photo that I pulled up for him last night, I think it was $543,000. Nice day at the office for Matt. So we'll talk a little contest play. Maybe get a couple of ideas today from Matt.
I was there.
2021 BC?
That was one at Del Mar, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, had the group to my left. They had no money on Saturday coming in, and that was not one of those.
Yeah, clearly. And then end of the program, Jose Santos Jr., who's kind of revolutionized the jockey agent game. He has, and as I was doing research last night, currently 7 jockeys from tracks all around the country. We'll find out how he does it and how he looks at the condition books.
Maybe
and
he
whatnot.
can explain Zoom to me.
Please.
Because I'm sure that's what he's doing.
clearly, yes, he is clearly using the technology to make it work. All of that's coming up at 10 o'clock today.
Now, this shows you how far in left field I am. What do you think the chances are timing of races comes up?
At the
Yes.
I forgot what the topics were. I don't think that was a topic.
Which slays you, right?
Well,
I mean, it's one of them.
I don't know how they pick their topics, so I can't say. And it's a one-day thing, so they
timing the races.
And as I said,
way down on the list.
I said to you,
Get the sundial.
And Marshall Graham, I think mentioned it when he was in here, but Marshall Graham's on a panel about the computer-assisted wagering group, so we'll see what that turns out to give out over there. And we were talking before, if you can't make it up here, and I think you may have had the RSVP already.
Oh, yeah,
with
that's
limited seating, but they do stream it on the Jockey Club website. So if you're interested, that's tomorrow, and I think it starts at 10 a.m. tomorrow.
Because I think it's like oh, by the way, have you seen in Europe the outrage over the suspension with the whip with the King George winner, the 6-year-old Holcomb? They're outraged about the suspension and the fine the young man got for winning the King George in an upset. It'd be interesting to see how it plays out if they revisit their whip rules and things, but the fine is gigantic. And do you think they picked Wednesday, Thursday, Friday for the Ortiz brothers, like out of a hat? So Jose Ortiz does get days for the non-DQ. And people on Twitter are like, I didn't do anything wrong, so why do I get days? But they both got 3 days, right? Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. They got to serve it together. They'll probably take a little vacation, 5-day vacation. And they don't miss the big Saturday stakes races. All right. Is it time for the DePaul play of the day? I believe it is. Steve Bick with kicking off week 4. Hard to imagine the play of the day on a glorious Wednesday.
When you think trucks, think DePaula. Then come join the family for value. Just visit, call, or click.
This week, get 000 savings on every new Chevy car, truck, and SUV.
So come join the family and think DePaula for all your automotive needs.
Hey, everybody. Steve Bick back with you for the DePaula play of the day as we hit Whitney week. Should be a terrific day Wednesday with the $194,000 pick 6 carryover. Very approachable. There's a heavy lean Vax, certainly the Linda Rice favorite in the nightcap. Might be a place that a lot of people single, and then you're going to have to spread in some other spots. There's also an excellent horse, I think, to rely on in the jump race. Number 5, Barbados for Arch Kingsley. to me, is a very likely winner. And I toyed with making Barbados the DePaula play of the day. However, going to be a favorite maybe or second choice. So I wanted to go for a longer price. We've been having a nice run of success. 8 different DePaula plays of the day so far. 2 winners. Second, that was Verstappen on Sunday at a big price. Ran great behind Channel Maker. And then 2 thirds. So let's keep it going. We're going to go to the 9th. This is a conditional allowance, a money allowance, and 5.5 furlong turf sprint. Ron Moquette is not necessarily thought of as a turf sprint trainer, but Sarah Harper in here, the 5 at 6-1, seems very live. And I think we're going to get a lot of that 6-1. Joel Rosario gets back aboard, was together with this mare in the Unbridled Sydney at Churchill, going back to Derby week. And Sarah Harper is going to come from off the pace. Joel, arguably the best turf sprint trainer anywhere in the country. 6-1, Sarah Harper. The 5 in the 9th is your DePaula play of the day. Let's get lucky. Back on Thursday. Good luck, everybody.
When you think trucks, think DePaula. Then come join the family for value. Just visit, call, or click.
This week, get 000 savings on every new Chevy car, truck, and SUV.
So come join the family and think DePaula for all your automotive needs.
Back, ladies and gentlemen. I want to thank the good people at DePaula Chevrolet for sponsoring this summer's play of the day once again. And I said it, I'll reiterate it. If you have, and I've always said this to people, I said, you're not required to come up here and stay all day, but come up for like 2 or 3 hours. Just come. I mean, it's a beautiful day. So if you have a little free time, you want to come up, maybe catch your early double and see 4 or 5 races and get back home before the rush and dinner, etc. But it's a great way to spend 2 or 3 hours up here. You don't have to spend 5 or 6, but it's a beautiful day. If you've even thought about it, come on up today. The opener, the jumps, the Jonathan Kaiser novice at 2 and a 16.
5, 1, 3, and 2. Always like when horses that head up to Saratoga for the steeplechase races kind of prep on the flat. Well, how about prepping in a grade 2? The Belmont Gold Cup, well beaten was Barbados, but came out of a maiden breaker over the jumps just before that, which was a very nice effort. In fact, I'll show that a little bit later on when Tom Law's on. Nice little ding-dong battle after the last jump and pushed on by to win, as you can see here, by a length. So I thought the jump race 2 back was very good. And then, as I say, that they got bold and tried to, face off with grade 2 company was intriguing. Getting back on the jump side today, Barbados on top for me. Awakened in the 2nd spot. It's Jack Fisher, one of the top jump trainers, and comes in off a nice win last time. So I like this one as well as being a real player in here. And Caramelized coming off a couple of stakes tries over the jump so far this season. A win. And then a 3rd, but it was clearly a well-beaten 3rd behind Freddie Flincher. So this one, a little bit of a mixed situation with the win. And again, a 3rd, but by 24 lengths. But I think what we saw 2 back is something you can kind of hang your head on. In the opener, 5, 1, 3, and 2.
Well, you're definitely in trouble because the knucklehead has the 5 on top too. 5, 2, 3 for me. And I don't bet hunches, but we're supposed to go to Barbados for Anthony's spring break of his junior year. And isn't that the island that the late great Eugene Melnick, Spicetown?
I think you're right. Yes.
That's a pretty big town / city in Barbados where the champion sprint almost 20 years ago, right? 04 or something. But 5, 2, 3 for me in the opener.
Race number 2 this afternoon, State Bred Maiden Special 3-year-olds and up, going 3/4 of a mile.
And I know I kid about it, but I would be intrigued to talk to Arch Kingsley about, was that flat race purely for this? Like, before the race, I want to hear him, he didn't
he
run
tried at
great.
grade 2, though. I mean, I think maybe he was legitimately
thinking
but maybe not.
I'd be interested. That's one time with the jumpers, I'd be like, were you looking to get something specifically? Henry Aaron for me in the 2nd, 7-1-5. Flying in Style goes against one of my little guidelines, which is at 9-1, he ran terrifically from the inside. Now you're getting the worst of it, and he's going to run less well. I mean, he's going to be, in my vernacular, a worse price, and he's not going to run as well as he did on debut. He's on the outside, so I think that actually helps a little bit. And I think Charlie Baker's horse was good on debut, but I have to tell you, we're 1/3 the price, and I'm worried because what I often like is picking against these horses. You're getting all the worst of it. And I talk about that regression in the second race, whether it's to start the career or off like a 6-7 month layoff. So it's the horse I like, but I guess the good news I have is the race was June 9th. So hopefully I've had enough time to bounce back. From the other side of the starting gate is my second pick, Chalky Cat, who won't be chalky in here for Jimmy Bond making the 4th start. Only the second one since late February. And for third, number 5, Fast Buck Freddie making the second career start. Now, this horse follows the angle that I kind of like. Was 7-2 in the debut and might be that price or a little bit better. And I always have to remind myself that Fast Anna is a colt who is the stallion who is fast, 7-1-5.
And
Wow.
I look.
We have
no
number 4. Friday, I'm in love down the lane for Jimmy Bond.
I did use your 7 down the 4th spot though.
Wow.
And Fast Buck Freddie, I debated because I like Fast Anna as a win early type of a sire. But looking up the siblings, overall the siblings of Fast Buck Freddie, 42 starts, 2 wins, 2 seconds, 2/3, and the 2 wins were one of the siblings. So that shied me away a little bit, but I won't be surprised if he runs well. But I went with our friend Brady Volante on top, Bastino Santino, who didn't show much of anything really in the first 3 starts, but it's one of those situations where a little time off, maybe he comes back with the experience under the belt, and maybe this afternoon lives up to the win early breeding, because this one has a sibling called Buston Pietre, who won the career debut. Buston Timberlake was second in debut, then ran 10th, but then won 3 of the next 4. I thought, again, a little bit of a layoff. The potential here is to come back as an improved runner, and I think we'll get some odds off of those first 3. Buston Santino on top, Nobilis in the 2nd spot. Mark Hennig off to a nice start at the meet.
Wow.
And this one put in a pretty good try last time, I think, to build on. Stavros, sibling called Pins and Needles, was 4th in debut, won the 2nd start. Another sibling, Violent IM, took 5 starts to win, but was 2nd in the first 3 starts. Sibling Constitution certainly is a win early sire. And then, as I say, I put your Flying in Style down in the 4th spot. There was a sibling called Forrest Falcon that 0 for 3 in the career, but was 2nd in both starts, 2 and 3. So I thought there was a little bit there that make that one playable. It's a race I'm not jumping in with a lot of confidence, but I have it 3, 2, 6, and 7.
And I find it intriguing that Roddy Merrivalenti's horse, not too often, I mean, we look at PPs almost every day. First 3 career starts, all on a money track. I mean, it just doesn't happen very often. I mean, one reason is a lot of trainers will just scratch out, but all 3 starts. On to the 3rd. We're going to go 5.5 on the turf. Claimers in for 32.
7, 4, 2, and 6. I'm going to put after 5 on top. The dirt race 4-back was very good. Claimed out of that, moved into allowance company and tried the turf, and that was very good. The subsequent 2 starts, not so much, but gets back in for the tag today. I think maybe we rebound back to what we saw 3 and 4 starts ago, particularly that turf start 3-back. So I'll tilt slightly in that direction. 7 cents gets some class relief in the 3rd start of the season. I think it's class relief off a couple of improving numbers that maybe help continue that improvement. And coming in from out of town for Mike Maker, I just wasn't sure from out of town how this horse exactly was going to class up. But if this horse does match up with this bunch, and it's Mike Maker and Irod Ortiz, so likely to be a good fit and maybe has a little bit of a class edge. Although if you look down the PPs, a little bit inconsistent. So we'll see how it all works out. Lyrical Poet, first start of the year for Wesley Ward with some early speed showing, drops in for a tag. It's one of those puzzles with horses that are dropping in a way that have you scratching your chin a little bit. If they run their best efforts, they're going to have the edge in here. But if they just go in the wrong direction, you don't know until they run the race. But I'm 7, 4, 2, and 6.
I have 1, 7, 6. I'm hoping the early speed for Chuck Willis down inside is the right tonic. And if my memory serves me right, they've left the rails at 18 feet on both circuits for another week. And, as you project at the beginning of the meet, because it's become a pattern in New York, we're not going to drop the rails until week 5. We're going to run them. The 4-star Dave will probably come down first, so they can run on the fresh surface for that grade 1, and then they'll drop the rails. But at 18 feet here, I just like Chuck Willis has very good early speed. Talking about David Jacobson before he got off the duck, that I thought his horses, his barn was racing rather well for Saratoga. He got off the duck. We're inside with Jose Ortiz for second. I like after 5. The one thing I thought, Seth, was I was hoping I had a tactical advantage down inside with my horse, and maybe I could get the jump on after 5, and then we'll see what Lyrical Poet with Wesley Ward. First start of the year. Horse is always, I shouldn't say always bad, predominantly shows very good early speed. He's on the outside. He's fresh. We'll see if he poses a problem for Chuck Willis in here. But 176 for me in the 3rd.
Play of the day today, the dark horse play of the day before we go to the break. It's out at race 10, and I was just looking because I was going to toss out. I had 2 that I went back and forth with today.
The old quandary.
I was going to toss out the other one, and now I can't.
Dark horse, Roman numeral.
Of course, little brother. Yeah, I can't find it. But there was a second one. If as we're going through it jumps out at me, I will alert folks. But I went with the 10th race today. $16,000 conditional claimers going 6, and the price is what it plays into it. Baby Sox, number 4 in horse number 10. It's a Rudy Rodriguez runner. Nice winner to break the maiden 2 back, and did it at a 20 tag. I like that they were confident enough to move up to a 40 level off of the maiden breaker. Showed some punch before fading, but drops in for a 16 conditional tag today. And I just think this horse to me looks live off of that 20 maiden breaker, getting back to this level. Again, off an effort last time that was well beaten, but did show a little oomph early. I think is going to be far more potent today down at this level. And we're looking at 6-1 on the morning line. So I thought this horse was going to be a real player in here. Again, this is one I said earlier that, there are some of those races where horses make drops that have you scratching your chin. I think this is just realistic. They broke the maiden at 20. Then they bounced up. They got a little confident, and they realized, okay, we have what we have. So I think they're getting back down to the more proper level. So dark horse play of the day today, race number 10, horse number 4, Baby Sox, brought to you by the Dark Horse Mercantile in downtown Saratoga. And again, happily recommend swinging by and visiting our friends at the Dark Horse Mercantile and their sister store down the street, Impressions of Saratoga. You'll be happy you did.
All right, take a quick break. When we come back, the middle pick 4.
It only takes one upset to make history, and now you can be part of Saratoga's long tradition at the Dark Horse Mercantile. The Dark Horse Mercantile offers a carefully curated selection of clothing, gifts, and home decor, from one-of-a-kind vintage racing memorabilia to select brands like Barber and Under Armour, as well as exclusive Dark Horse branded merchandise. So celebrate the Dark Horse in all of us at the Dark Horse Mercantile, downtown Saratoga, where the smart bet is always the Dark Horse.
For more than 4 generations, Bruce Cerrone and his family have continued the 101-year tradition of delighting their local following and faithful summer crowd with the finest authentic Italian recipes. Classic Italian dishes made with the freshest ingredients, served in a home-like setting. Some things have changed in the last 101 years, but not Pinnell's commitment to the finest in Italian cuisine. Pinnell's Italian Restaurant, a Saratoga tradition since 1922. 284 Jefferson Street, just minutes from the track.
Capital OTB is now streaming live on Roku. The RTN Racing channel on Roku lets you watch OTB TV live through your Roku device or your Amazon Fire Stick, rather than being limited to computers and mobile devices, which means you can now watch OTB live wherever you are. Simply open Roku, scroll to find the RTN channel, then click on OTB TV. OTB TV on Roku. Try it now. Welcome back to the Handicappers Report. Wednesday, kicking off week number 4 here at Saratoga on a gorgeous day. Sunny, comfortable.
This is good.
I was almost said low humidity, but I'm saying no humidity.
No.
It is a gorgeous day.
Dew point was probably 45 degrees today.
It's gorgeous. Fourth race this afternoon at Saratoga. State bred optional claimers, non-winners of 2 other than 9 furlongs the distance.
Always enjoy two-turn dirt racing. Nice to see it. 3-1-7 for me. Olympic Dreams goes out for Pat Quick. Hasn't run since the commentator stakes back at Belmont Park. I'm thinking Memorial Day, right? Hasn't that become Memorial Day is the New York has taken over that spot. They added blinkers. It didn't work out so well. It was probably the competition. Goes back to this level. 2 races back, was very competitive here for second. Drawing the rail, number 1, Shadow Dragon, 9-5 for Bill Mott. The horse to beat in here has raced well. The one time trying this condition, tried the Open Company Florida big races 3-year-old and the Wood Memorial, but probably gets in a tough. He's the horse to beat in this race. I actually think we've talked about odds. I think I've been right 3 out of the 4 times. Got it completely wrong in the Echo Zulu Freddie Rocket race, but I think Shadow Dragon goes down here and Olympic Dreams goes up here. I think the spread is much bigger than 1/5, so that's kind of why I put Olympic Dreams on top and for third, number 7. So 3-1-7. And I think once you get past Shadow Dragon, I think it's like 4 deep, but Shadow Dragon is pretty tough in here.
Now I'll be interested to see because I'm not sure they are that separated by that much.
Now here's an example like with the Freddie Rocket Echo Zulu. The odds.
It wasn't Freddie Rocket, but now you.
Oh,
Frank's Rocket. Yeah.
That Olympic Dreams, right? This is where Rocket had the superior multiple. And here's a similar type situation, but I just think Shadow Dragon, like Echo Zulu, just.
I'm not arguing that Shadow Dragon will be the shorter of the 2. I just think
they're going to be that close.
I kind of feel they will, but now I'm intrigued to
I
see,
am too. At about 252.
Because I have no. I'm not.
Well, I noticed you went the same way too. Now I went the same way because I thought I was going to get a better price.
I just preferred the kind of. Has a better post position for the battle, perhaps, in here.
Nice.
But slightly. So I put Olympic Dreams on top. And the last buyer has an edge on Shadow Dragon and his buyers. So I tilted slightly in that direction. But again, to me, they're very close. Third spot, Mason Mania. The start 2 back was very good. Pat matched up that number in similar company last time, and I think could be a player in here. Wild Banker also. Could be a little bit of a player, but yeah, it does seem like at the very least, you have Shadow Dragon as maybe having the edge. I think it's hard to get past the top 2. If you're doing a horizontal, certainly 3, 1, 6, and 5.
And it really points out how the difference to me because I'm quite vested in the price, like in this. So I'm projecting a greater disparity because if they're almost the same price, I would want to switch them. But I was thinking like 6-5, 7-2, but and that intrigues me. The price. So you don't think so?
Well, no,
I'll be very findable tomorrow morning when we see it. But
I am making a note.
A note. He's making a note. He made a happy birthday note for me. Now he's making a note. On to the 5th race. State bred 2-year-old fillies on the turf, going a mile 16th on the inner.
2, 6, 4, and 3. I'm going to put Once an Eagle on top. Tonalist on top. Tonalist this year, 23 first-time starters, 3 winners, 4 seconds, a couple of thirds, so 7 exactas out of 23. On turf, first-time starters this year, 3 with 1 winner and 2 seconds. There's a sibling called One-Eyed Ray that was 10th in debut, won the second start. That was on the turf. Another sibling called Uncle Curly, 4th in debut, won the second start on the turf. And another sibling called Tapitation, 2nd in debut, won the second start. That one was on dirt, however, but the horse won on turf. As I read these off, I am just alerting you, maybe the next start for this family is a little better. But I looked at and believe me, I considered that, but I looked at the rest of the field and I just thought, the breeding, I think, and the connections, Christophe Clement, I think this one may be live in here in debut. But it was interesting that a number of the siblings won their second start. Belvoir for our friends at West Point. Tommy Bellhouse was in here the other day and mentioned this one. There's a sibling called Maiden Beauty that won its debut, albeit on dirt. Another sibling, Juliana's Rose, third, then fourth and one. They were all on dirt, however. But again, there's some win early breeding here for Belvoir. And then Coach Sessa, Brittany Russell, pretty good with first-time starters. The workouts, are okay. As I say, once I got past the top one, I wasn't seeing anything that was totally jumping off the page at me. So in the fifth, I have a 2, 6, 4, and 3.
I probably should have reversed the Catholic boys. I took Coach Sessa on top. I'm 483. One of the bad interesting things here is Catholic boy stands for 15,000, and this filly went for 22,000. That's, you're looking for, I don't know, multiplier of like 3 to 1 at least. And the other Catholic boy, the 8, with Luis Saez in the saddle with blinkers, still stands for 15, but they paid 100 for it. So I might be reversed in here, especially at 10 to 1 for me. And then Brock Nardini just respected the George Weaver angle for firsters. He gets Irad Ortiz from, the line of Curlin and Bernardini. But I thought it was an interesting race. I just didn't have a strong place to go, which is why I'm 6 to 1 and 10 to 1 in my exactas with the Catholic boys. 4-8-3.
Race number 6. We're looking at a B-condition claimer. 8.5 furlongs on the grass.
5-7-3 for me in here. And I did a rare thing here. And this is, I also had the 6 for fourth. Seth always hands out fourths, but it's a big price, Seth. And I just didn't have the gumption to put it in my trifecta, but for the audience. But in a part wheel trifecta, it's in my play. It's in that group. So I wanted to mention Boca in here, 6 for me. Home for Christmas, who and this. Tell me if I'm being too picky. Trust me, I have the skin. Should they parse out your record on the inner and the melon turf course, or should they be commingled? Because this horse's box is really, well, you can just see them, is for the inner turf course, and they're going to run on the melon. Should they be separate?
I'm all for parsing it for the best information possible.
Yeah, I think they should do a different job. I'm not going to say a better job. I think they should do a different job. I know there's only Belmont and Saratoga and Aqueduct that have 2 turf courses, and Woodbine. But I think they should separate them. I don't think they're the same. I think they should. Home for Christmas, though, I think it's not a huge thing for me. Not like timing races or the distance, but I just think Home for Christmas has run well here before. I'm throwing out the last race at the New York bred level at 30 to 1. I get a good post position today. I'm hoping for a flyer with Trevor McCarthy for second. I have posted up. The race goes through. Changes barn into Linda Rice, and Linda she's been a very consistent 25%, and she's higher than that at Saratoga, one of the toughest meets in the world. And then for third, I'll take Stir Crazy, making the third start of the winter. Boy, we used to see Ben Perkins Jr. a lot up here with babies. Not so much anymore. 5-7-3.
2, 7, 3, and 5 for me. I'll put Cannon Fire on top as the other Linda Rice. I think posting up, I have a Linda Rice exact. I think posting up 8 to 5 on the morning line will take a lot of action. I off the last start, certainly, I'm not totally convinced. And off the last start, I think all you have to do is draw a line through that one for Cannon Fire, and this horse fits right in the mix at a much better price. And again, you always trust the trainer. He or she knows what they have with the other one. So Cannon Fire as, again, the other Linda, the longer half of the uncoupled entry. I'll tilt in that direction. Posting up again. There are numbers here that probably do make this one the one to beat, but there are question marks on the class move and whatnot. Stir Crazy in the third spot. Another one that last time ran okay to run third, but the number went backwards. But it was an off the turfer. So getting back to the turf today, we'll look for a little bit of a rebound in the sixth. 2, 7, 3, and 5.
All right, take a quick break. When we come back, the late pick 4. Come on.
I want sales reports on my desk by Monday.
Oops.
My bad.
Love racing? RTN brings you every live simulcast on your home television, plus live video streaming and race replays on your PC and mobile devices. To order, visit rtn.tv. RTN, a breed apart.
A day at the track isn't complete without a night at the Horseshoe. Great food, hot music, and cold drinks. So why go downtown when all the action's just across from the track? The Horseshoe Inn at the corner of Nelson and Gridley.
Birdstone is an outside front. They're coming down to the finish. Can Smarty Jones hold on? Here comes Birdstone. Birdstone surges past. Birdstone wins the Belmont Stakes.
It's in front, but here comes High Chaparral. High Chaparral, the defending champ, to take it to foul ball. These two arch rivals head to head with Joe Hart bearing down on them. It's going to be a three-horse photo finish to the turn. Here's the wire. Photo finish.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Up to race number 7 on this fantastic morning. And when I saw this race, Seth, I wrote at the top, hereafter, this should be the meet opener. A nice starter allowance at a mile and a quarter.
Except they like to have that gate right out in front, right there for the first race. I mean, if you,
where do you think the gate is?
Well, it's going to be up at the top of the stretch.
It would be the middle of the stretch for more the
middle.
It
was going to be at the 8 pole.
Yeah.
The
people down at the clubhouse will see them coming into their.
Yeah, everybody gets to see them run by, but yeah.
Because I hadn't seen this type of race carded very often for us. Mile and a quarter in the 7th.
Once I got past my top pick, I thought it was a puzzle. I went 10, 9, 3, and 7. I put Lord Captain on top. And maybe Lord Captain is part of the puzzle as well, because you really have to buy into the last number. But it was off the claim for Linda Rice. It was right up here at Saratoga at 7. Does the horse transfer from 7 to the mile and a quarter? I believe me, I debated, shopping around because I have an interesting price right underneath, and I debated putting that one, but I thought if this horse does run back to that, Linda Rice is going so well, so I landed on Lord Captain. But Bobby G, 10-1 on the morning line. I think this horse can be a player off the last few starts down in the Mid-Atlantic. In numbers improving. The horse is in good form. I think this horse is going to be a cozy fit in here again, potentially at a nice price in Portos at 10-1. Off the claim, trainer's a little cool, so I shied away from this one. Otherwise, I might have been tempted to put Portos on top. Bear Oak at 10-1 for Norm Cassie. Off the claim, I think can be a player. But as I say, I kind of, with the number last time, I tilted towards Lord Captain. Once you got by that, I thought it was a complete puzzle. And again, if you're not buying that number, you're not buying the move from 7 to a mile and a quarter for Lord Captain, the whole thing becomes a puzzle. But for me, 10, 9, 3, and 7.
Well, I one thought that of Lord Nelson, who I loved going into the sprint a couple of years ago at San Diego. He was one of those 48 hours before the races scratches out. But the 94 is an aberration. If the 94 isn't on there, isn't this race 5 horses deep?
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, that 94 sticks out like a double sore thumb.
I kind of looked at it as off the claim. The horse is clearly improved.
That is true.
So
that is true. And there's a lot of value in that. I was more skeptical of the 94 being repeated. I was thinking this race would be won with like a 78 or a 79, and that brought everybody into the pool. And when that's the case, I wanted Bobby G, who's double-digit odds. You okay?
I think we just had an unintended guess. I think somebody just casually walked through.
Come on down. Don't say anything, then we have to pay you. Bobby G is my pick. Portos is live in here based on the buyers, not counting and Lord Captain I have in third. As you said, Linda is just doing dynamite. If that 94 stands up going 7 to 10, it's going to be heck to pay. But this is called gambling, and I'll take my chances elsewhere.
Yeah.
9, 3, 10.
We'll see. Interesting.
Yes.
8th race this afternoon, stakes action. The Della Rose, $135,000 up for grabs for the Fillies and Mares going a mile on the turf.
And because of the restricted rate nature of this, it won't get graded. But just to give you an insight, think about this. The last 5 winners of the Grade 1 Matriarch, and I understand the Matriarch is not the race it was years ago have come out of this race. 5. So this is a restricted stake race that's usually around a grade 2. So just remember that. I think this is another terrific addition in here. And I'll be interested to see Seth. I'm 4-5-1. It's a field of 7 for the turf race. I probably could have had any number up there. It looks like we're missing the 2 and the 3, Seth. That's the only numbers we don't have. But very on balance. You got Chad Brown, for me, is the exacta. And it's really about technical analysis is the horse to beat. Seth's 5 is the horse to beat. And I just went to Hardy for Chad. I mean, I have to run back to the Lake Placid just to get a whiff. That's just to be competitive against technical analysis. I need to repeat and slightly maybe improve on a career best to be in the conversation. Well, that's where I'm going with Irad. Jose has technical analysis, second start of the year. Got beat at 2-5 in the Perfect Sting. One of the nicer Philly turf horses in this century. And then White Frost down below, but a great renewal. And I know we have a lot of casual fans here, but I mean, this is like a grade 2, folks.
I have a 5, 6, 4, and 2. As you said, I put technical analysis on top, but I debated. Did run second at a very short price in the seasonal debut, but I thought builds off of that. And you look at the Saratoga record, which is very good. So I'm going to tilt in that direction. But again, off the seasonal debut, you can make arguments against. And if you are the Augustin runner, I thought could be very intriguing at a little bit of a price. Regal Realm, coming off a 3-race win streak so far this season, I think is going to be a very potent player in here and will be heard from in the lane. And then Haughty, the Chad Brown horse you put on top in the Perfect Sting, was behind my top pick and a couple of lengths behind, but on a relatively lightly raced, I would think there's still the potential for some upside. And that Lake Placid last year was certainly good enough to contend in here in the 8th. 5, 6, 4, and 2.
And I mean, we know Chad has branched out, especially with the Clarvich runners, but boy, his affinity with turf horses and almost particularly the mares, it's unbelievable. Take our final break. When we come back, the Late Daily Double.
For more than 4 generations, Bruce Cerrone and his family have continued the 101-year tradition of delighting their local following and faithful summer crowd with the finest authentic Italian recipes. Classic Italian dishes made with the freshest ingredients, served in a home-like setting. Some things have changed in the last 101 years, but not Pinnell's commitment to the finest in Italian cuisine. Pinnell's Italian Restaurant, a Saratoga tradition since 1922. 284 Jefferson Street, just minutes from the track.
The only thing better than watching the races is watching your own racehorse. With nearly 20 years experience in the racing industry, Bonaventure Stables' share-based ownership program enables everyday fans to become part owner of a thoroughbred for far less than you might think, with all the ownership perks at Saratoga, Belmont, Aqueduct, and other great tracks. Experience the thrill and lifestyle of owning your own thoroughbred racehorse. Learn more at bonaventurestables.com.
Back, ladies and gentlemen, we were just talking off air that many moons ago, Seth, this would have been opening day, and what a glorious, spectacular opening day it would be. Instead, it's day 15. Hard to imagine.
Talking with our friend Keith Shamblin from the NTRA.
Very nice. On to the 9th race, optional claimers, 80, classified, 5.5 on the turf.
7, 1, 4, and 2, coffee maker on top. I wasn't totally convinced here. But a nice win last time. I don't know. I'm not sure what this race is going to take to win. And a best effort puts this horse in the mix. Will we get it? I don't know. But it's Wesley Ward with a turf sprinter. And a turf sprinter with some talent, too. So I went in that direction. Used the other Wesley Ward, Happy Soul, in the second spot. Coming in off a second place finish down at Churchill. Coffee Maker had won last time down at Churchill. So again, these horses are both talented and are both clearly fast enough on their best efforts. And it's Wesley Ward with Turf Sprinters. Third spot, A Day in Asia. Christophe Clement runner that came to the United States. And I think this horse is better than the two performances we've seen so far over here. And I'm going to look for a little bit of a rebound and a better effort this afternoon, at least finishing position-wise in the 9th at Saratoga, 7-1-4-2.
5-6-4. I am with Steve Bick and Sarah Harper. Now, 2 races back, I talked about Lord Captain and that 94 that just sticks out, and 9-5 on the morning line. Well, for Sarah Harper, 2 races back, the 95 sticks out. And if I'm dismissive of that, she's competitive with many horses. The difference is Sarah Harper, though, is 6-1 on the morning line. So I'm happier to take on more risk at that price, losing to Caravel down at Churchill Downs. So Sarah Harper making the 3rd start since March 2nd. Big effort, regression. Now we hope at about $14 with Joel Rosario, we find the winner's circle. For second, mail order right next door in the starting gate, making the 2nd start of the year, was laid off from November until Independence Day Eve. And then for third, number 4, A Day in Asia, Christophe Clement's runner, making the 3rd start in the U.S., 3rd start since September 7th. Very competitive race, 5-6-4.
We will wrap things up at around 6:15 this evening with race number 10. Conditional claimers, non-winners at 2 for 16 tags, going 3/4 mile.
And then, the race probably goes through Vax to 7s. I am 6-4-7, trying to get a little. As I said, I am of the mindset that David Jacobson's horses were never very cold at Saratoga, and now they got off the duck. I read Ortiz taste them out. I'll take first-time leaf blower. We got to the 15th day, and it's first-time leaf blower.
Run out.
Well, that was a pretty strong run. It's actually not a leaf blower. It's one of those
nuclear weapon.
Pretty good. So I'll take the 6 on top. Baby Sox, who is Seth's dark horse play of the day, has good tactical speed for Rudy Rodriguez. And then for third, Vax, 7-5. Linda Rice, first off the claim, 40,000. She's been nails, 6-4-7.
4-9-7-2 for me again. Baby Sox. It was my dark horse play of the day, and I think they're just getting back to the realistic level where this horse can score. I put Maddie Surprise in the 2nd slot, coming in from Finger Lakes and coming in off a big win. And sometimes you see these horses and they'll win at a price, and you look back and you say, comes in off a win. The price probably, maybe it wouldn't go in that direction, but the price is more than it should have been. And at 20-1 on the morning line, this one could be a player. And Vax at 7-5. Linda Rice claims for 40 and comes back for 16. I'm okay with this one in the 3rd spot. A little a drop like that though. Yeah, that's just, I don't know. That has bad vibes on it to me. I have it 4-9-7-2.
I think last year I was probably, at least 4 winners in the first half of the meet, just dismissing the idea of the fire sale angle being a double negative. I was like, I don't care. I'm taking this horse. They run off.
That one seems fishy. I have it in the 3rd spot.
I understand. And just for the correction, the leaf blower is still 0 for the meet. This is lawn mowing going on today. So our leaf blower is still 0.
I've never quite heard a lawnmower like
that.
Oh,
he's got an electric one.
It's an electric. Yeah,
it's electric. So it's in the bag. That's a pretty sharp tie you have on today.
Thank you.
It's got to be a Bago tie.
I don't know. This would. I don't. To tell you the truth, I don't know. But this would be in my wheelhouse. I would buy one like this.
I'm suspicious. It's close, but it's the extreme for you because it's flashy. You don't like flashy ties. It's a great looking tie. It is the pattern that I definitely see you with, but it's bold.
I don't remember.
It announces you are coming into the room. That's just not your style.
That's what I'm shooting for.
You're going to change up. Who do you have for Racing Across America for the good people?
Tom Law from the Saratoga Special. He will bounce by.
By the way, they're always nice. They drop off
special.
The special.
So Tom Law will jump on. Matt Miller, 2021 BCBC winner and we'll talk a little contest play and more. Maybe get some ideas for this afternoon. And then a little bit later on, Jose Santos Jr., the son of, as the name indicates, the Funny Sides jockey, but has gone on to be a jockey agent and kind of breaking the rules on the jockey agent side of things. So should be fun to talk to Jose Santos Jr. as well.
Now, we have just a moment, but this photo will not be the Eclipse
There
Award.
we go. First guest. Love it when
There's Tom Lost Cycle.
coming in on the bicycle.
That's it. This won't be the Eclipse Award winning photograph because if you've ever seen some of the winners, they're just very singular. But from a horse racing standpoint, when you have Elite Power and Gunite in these world famous silks, it makes for a great photograph.
And it's both of the jock, great look.
It's a great photograph. So great job as they always do with their the look. I mean, it's been a great newspaper for a generation. They do a great job. I know how hard they work at it.
I'll ask Tom. I was looking to see if there was a credit on
that.
I'll ask Tom who
took the photo?
Cover photo.
Good, huh? Who did it?
Todd Marks.
Great job.
Yeah.
I mean,
Very
it
good.
says if you follow racing very closely, it says so much. Now, usually the photograph that wins is something that the casual fan looks up and goes, "Oh my goodness, this is not that." But for racing people, that's just a great photo. Ladies and gentlemen, like I said, even if you only have 2-3 hours, what a day to come up for the racing. Day 15, he stays, I go. Enjoy your Wednesday.
You've been watching the Handicappers Report. The Handicappers Report has been brought to you by Thorough Pace, Premium Racing Analytics, allowing bettors to identify races with extreme pace scenarios in a matter of seconds. Capital OTB's mobile wagering platform. Bet any place, anytime with Capital OTB's mobile wagering platform. And CapitalOTBBet.com, the premier wagering site in New York State.